and how it's affecting our children, and also how it's affecting our relationship with each other. We had a very good trust towards one another. We had a very good, I could say, a very good foundation of our love with each other. And regardless where he goes, regardless of what he does, I'll always believe him. I always trust him. And when he's away from home for weeks, I'll always trust him. Yeah, it's not a perfect marriage. We have our weaknesses. We have things that we've done that we regretted that we shouldn't have done. We are not perfect, but we somehow we managed to we managed to come through and work. Sometimes we feel so betrayed with everything and every efforts that you put in, like it's unfair with all the things. And I'm sharing this because you listen to me today, and you may be saying to yourself, what I did is well justified. With everything that I've tried to make my marriage work, she doesn't do anything, or he doesn't do anything. He doesn't help to try and make it work. Yeah, it's always a blaming game, but that blaming game, we forget it's no longer just you two just
it's affecting the family.
It's affecting your family, affecting your children, and it's also affecting, your relatives. These relatives, they have come together because of you two. They've known each other. Or if they see me and say, oh, it's Atu. And when they see him, it's Rai, or it's Ray. Because this family, they never know each other from the beginning. But they come to know each other because of your love, because of you two, because of their union. And sometimes the things that we do, we're so selfish, centered only on us, we forget about all the people that we have affected. And more so, like if you still have your parents alive, listen.
Involve
them as part of their equation. Involve them as part of your love. Because without that mom, or without your nay, or without your mother-in-law, that person that you have loved will not be sitting there. It has to take them, to bring him or bring her to your life. So it's very unfair for you not to love your in-laws. Yeah, you can have 101 reasons not to like your in-law. In-laws are in-laws, like they always, it's generally termed like they don't work together, with marriage. It's always like that thing. All over the world it does. But because you love their child, or you love their daughter or their son, you'll just have to find something in their lives for you to love. Because you cannot cancel, you cannot take the fact away or erase
the connection we have.
The connection that they had. That's the offspring, of that in-laws.
You're talking about there's no marriage are perfect.
Yeah.
As you share, for those of you that are having some some indifferences, some arguments, I tell you, when you go over that hill or that mountain of differences, I tell you, you will feel that your relationship, your bondage becomes stronger. Every time you go through a hurdle, your relationship will become stronger because you manage. So those hurdles and challenges, try to go through, because there's something beautiful on the other side. Like for us, 39 years.
Yeah.
39 years of...
That's a long time, eh? Yeah, 39
and we
years.
still stars, I see
moon. I hope it's still star and moon in my eyes. You better. Sometimes your marriage becomes so boring because it becomes beautiful. Do you know that? Like, it becomes okay. He brings the money, I make the food. But other than that, there's no more electrifying moments. There's no more intimacy.
It's
like
supposed to be romance.
Yeah.
Supposed to be unity.
Yes.
Connection and intimacy.
Yeah, and then not only that, then you become best friends.
Yes.
Anything. Most of you run to your best friends to talk about certain things of your life.
But for us, you
need to treat your spouse as your best friend ever, your BFF forever.
And if I'm going for evangelism, say for 2 days or 3 days, we'll be talking to one another. Oh, I'll miss you tomorrow because tomorrow I'll be in Nandi, or I'll be in. That's our conversation, because we are not only husband and wife. She's my best friend.
Yeah, I better be your best friend.
Wherever I am, I'll call. If I face with something or something exciting, oh, you should come to Nosuri Island. Oh, the road here. Or you should come to Tabuni. All those things, the jokes, the sharing of experience, or something that you are not happy with, the first person to call, I will call her. because she's not only my wife, she's my best friend. So
And
when,
you need to treat your relationship like
it's
yeah.
lively,
Yeah.
it's alive.
She's your friend. He's your friend. He's not your enemy. She's not your enemy. And you're looking at all the responsibility, and then you say to yourself, "Oh man, what have I brought upon my life?" And then you go and talk about it to your other friends. But when you come home, you're faced with the same thing, and regardless of how you talk about it, that's not going to go away. You've made it. They're there to stay. So you have to create something for you to make
Yeah.
it work. And make it work. Just make it work.
It
And
can work.
It can
It
work.
can work. Yeah.
It can work. And you will have your differences, but talk it out. And don't talk it out of anger, or you're always getting angry at each other. No, you talk like a normal human being, having a decent conversation, and don't have your talks at all. I tell you, don't have your talks at all. Find a coffee place, or drive your car. If you live in Suva, go to the seawall. Take your car to Suva Grammar, somewhere there. Park the car, have your talk. Sit in a coffee place, have your coffee, and talk. Get out of the
Walk.
house and talk.
Get your
Yeah.
canvas and walk.
And get your canvas and walk. We do
Yeah.
that. Like this week has been really good.
Yeah.
We've been doing our, like
Exercise.
He's been our instructor. We've been having,
Shortcut instructor.
been having exercises because I was telling him, that's one thing. Like for me, if I put my mind something to it, and I said, no matter what, I'll make that happen. So we usually, when we go to a seawall, we will go, separate places to have our own prayer, and then we'll come together, have our prayer together, then we do these exercises. Not really drastic one, like the slow moving ones. It's like counting 1 to 10.
For the oldies.
The living of the hands, whatever that we do. And so let's count to 10.
You don't
So
call
most
it
of the-
exercise, you call it pastime.
So most of the time, as we are finishing, because we plan to be there 4:30 every morning and leave by 5:30. To give us time to come home, have breakfast with the children, because the church is on a fasting program for 6 to 6. And most of the time, like he'll be rushing. I said, what is it? He said, we have to go. And I said, no, exercise. Like he always done me. I mean, it's just like you're walking. So you have to do those things. And for us, even when
It's
we're
a
doing
part,
that,
yeah.
we'll have a laugh. And sometimes when we're doing, what do you call those things? When you
Sit up,
Yeah,
yeah.
sit-ups and stuff.
Stretch.
So when we do that, and then, you said, oh my God, my back is, like giving up on me. And those moments, they are fun.
Yeah, fun.
Look,
Yeah.
sometimes we look out to our friends to say that, we have fun with our friends. But you must remember, your friends have got their own lives as well.
Yeah.
And they have their own marriages, or if they're not married, or whatever life that they live, they have their own lives as well. This is your life. So if you take your life and try and share it with your friends, share the moments that is only applicable or relatable to them. But most, you need to make your marriage work. Don't live with your friends, but live with your family. Your enjoyment, your fun,
Yeah.
the very thing that you enjoy talking to your friends about, you can have it with your husband or with your wife. You can do that. Sometimes I get angry with him and I say, man, you're beyond fixing. And he'll, and then he'll go, he will be quiet, and I said, I just don't know what to tell you. Like the normal thing, then we are angry. When you trust them to do something, then they go and do the opposite. Or when you trust them to do something, then they don't do it at all. And, don't ever think that our marriage is perfect. No, we have those moments too, like you do. So I'll be quiet, don't want to talk to anybody, and then he'll come and say, can I help? Can I help you with the kitchen? And I say to myself, okay, do this. And then he goes and opens the whole drawers. I said, what are you doing? I'm looking, please go, just go. Those moments, and then we end up just laughing it off. And after we laugh, and then I look at him and say, man, the things you do. So it really depends on how you handle things that come your way. It really depends on how you handle, because I believe when you have that love and that understanding, no matter how bad things are, you'll always go back to
Yeah, sometimes I don't understand why husband
Abuse,
bully
yeah.
or even slap.
beat up, yeah. Abuse,
I don't understand that.
I mean, for you to continuously punching or beating somebody that you love.
Yeah. Even just a word that ridicule.
Verbal abuse.
Yeah. I don't understand that, because that woman you love, yeah, So if you're not happy, or if sometimes you receive some growling, you just have to absorb and move on, and try to give her space. Give her space, and because we are men, we're supposed to take on any physical or abuse that come to us. We are men. We're supposed to be very strong inside. And I don't understand when you hear, when you see, even the throne room, the call are coming,
For prayers,
for
On
prayers.
marriages,
And I mean, when husband, slapping or
Yeah.
punching, I mean, it's beyond what I know.
Yeah, I think the
understand.
anger within them, they sort of try to satisfy it by venting out for women because they are the weaker, physical, sense. So they use their mouth as a weapon,
Yeah.
to take out anything and everything that they're feeling. But for men, they're not. I see for you people, you men, you're not talkers.
Yeah.
You talk in the wrong place. You can have a lot of things you say, around the tunnel or after a few bottles, then we can hear your voice. But to
you-
speak, I don't see men really speaking. You don't speak straight. You can and not, most of you don't address issues. So you need this thing to sort of like psych you up to be able to do so. But in a normal level-headed person, it's very hard to hear men do that. So the only way for them to vent out their anger is through abuse,
Yeah.
punching,
Yeah, and
or
that's-
swears or verbal to take away their anger.
And that's what I don't understand. Because men, they are physically built like that. They're supposed to absorb anything that comes their way.
Yeah, but I believe it's now no longer have to do with the masculine man. It has to do with the inner man.
Yeah.
Because the inner man is the patient, the love. The inner man is the maturity. That's the inner man. Because the inner man is the anger and selfish.
Because when you are childish,
Yeah.
you'll be very quick to get angry,
Yes.
to pay back,
Yeah.
or you act like a
Like
child.
one of the children.
Yeah, because you are still a child inside. But when you are matured,
You know how to
yeah,
handle it.
you will absorb everything that comes your way.
Yeah, and then you
And
choose the right moment to
You,
address
you have a right
Yeah.
moment, because we're supposed to be a priest. And that goes back to your spiritual upbringing, spiritual maturity.
Yeah.
Because when you are spiritually matured, you can absorb anything that comes
Come
your
your
way.
way. I believe that.
Yeah, and every ridicule, every condemnation, you are able to
Yeah,
absorb.
to be able to absorb that.
Yeah.
And also like, and I believe it's lacking in a lot of marriage as well, on how appreciative that you must be, to appreciate the things around you. And say for women, if you know your husband has been footing the bill for the house, doing the things that he does, take the time to say, oh, thank you. When you're together, man, thank you. I just want to thank you. This house is beautiful. Or I want to thank you. I love this car. We didn't get in the car. Oh, thank you for getting this car, my husband. Man, thank you. That gratitude, it has to be part of your relationship. And also for you husbands, to look at your wife and say, man, thank you for the beautiful meals this week. Thank you for going out of your way. I know you're busy in the workplace, but you always go out of your way to do this. Or thank you for waiting on me. Like I went to work, or you are a homestay mom, and he goes to work, or you go to work, go hang out with your friends. When you come home, your wife is still sitting up. Thank her. That gratitude to show, just to get the conversation going, that you're appreciating things around you. Or even if you have your parents staying at home, and they are looking after them, tell them thank you. Thank you for looking after my dad. Thank you for looking after my mom. Because it's not their duty to do so. But when they do, you thank them. And that's one thing that I always tell my grandchildren. Don't just keep on eating. Don't just come and food on the table and, that's it. No. You take the time to say thank you. Or when you come and you see your bed, the comforter has been changed, the bedsheet has been changed, come and say thank you. Because somebody took the time to do that for you. When you come and you see your uniform ironed, hanging, say thank you. Because as you go along and being grateful with the things around you, it's such a good feel. It creates such a beautiful environment to live in at home. Because you're always living out of gratitude. You don't take things for granted, or you don't take things that you're supposed to be looked after. You're supposed to have your food ready when you come home, and you're living your life like you're ordering people around, get my food. Why my food is not ready? Or iron my clothes. Yes, they are your children. Yes, they are your wives or your wife. But there are ways that we can change those little things to make our marriage a little bit more better.
And that's why it's very important the words that you say on a
Yeah.
daily basis. Like, uh, thank you. Oh, this thing looks nice. Or you look beautiful. Or the food tastes nice. Even for me, I try to say words that are uplifting, edifying to you, to the children. Oh, nawali bro, kami nakanasarin ko. Oh, like for EMOPS, for Elijah. Oh, rumi nakanamun to sir. Dumay lang sir naman dikya. Rumi nakata. Rumi nakata. When you appreciate the people around you, it creates that atmosphere of closeness and connection, because of the words that you say. And it's very important. Imagine if you walk into a home and somebody shouting from the kitchen, somebody shouting from the backyard, and somebody cursing one another or swearing. No, it does not create that environment that the younger generation that they can become good,
Yeah.
because of the word that they hear.
Yes, yeah, they,
And for any family, for that matter, even for the community, community in the village talk, a village meeting, nang bimbi ni Vosa, da pa kaya nga takay?
Yeah.
Na ulo ko may doon koro, durong ito na karkar na Vosa tayo, Vosa kukuwa. Vosa kukuwa, dumarong ito Ya, au wabim na kinulang may doon matawali, o tamang kitinang guru sindo karkar. Pero bipal mo na, sasang ito nga. Sendo na Vosa kukuwa. And when you hear your neighbors, kaya ba kay tarada ka namumula, ningon ko sana may skina when you become matured and you have your family,
Yeah.
all those things that you hear from home will start coming out
Yes.
from your mouth.
Yeah.
And that's why it's very important. We've been visiting some ministers, some principal in schools. One of the things that come out really loud and clear from our teachers, from our principal, the words that our children are using. And that is not from school. I believe it's not from church, it's from home.
Yeah.
So we can create that environment that is soothing, peaceful, just by the words that we use.
It may not be easy as it sounds as we're trying to make it happen, but at least we can try. Try today and say some good things to your partner. And at the end of the day, try and say thank you. I really like that. Thank you for doing that for me. I'm grateful. And also just review the tone of your voice and the things you do or
Yeah.
say at home. That will also help moving forward for you just to correct the things you used to do. Even though it used to be okay, you were doing it all throughout your marriage life, or maybe this year it's a good year for you to change that.
Yes.
For them not to think that that was normal, that you can correct. There are certain things that you can correct, your tone, the words that you use, and your gratitude, to be honest enough to say thank you, to be honest enough to be grateful for the things done, and the things around you. And I know I had my mom who stayed with me that I've always shared until she passed on. And I had the opportunity in having his mom coming from the village every now and then. She comes and stays at home. And even when she passed on in the village, we took the trip right down to the
Namukelao.
village to be able to do that in Namukelao. And he always takes the time to say, oh, thank you for looking after my mom. Thank you for
Yeah.
loving my mom. And thank you for looking out for her. And things that you don't take for granted, but you appreciate. And when my mom was sick, because she's diabetic, and most of the time she's in and out of hospital on operation, she had her leg amputated. Without his support and understanding, I wouldn't be able to be sleeping over with my mom at the
Hospital,
hospital,
yeah.
because I had my children. I had my 3 daughters then, not my son yet, and he looked after my children. And I didn't really have to worry about what they eat or how they're going to go to school, or even have that conversation. Okay, can you look after the children? Or ask him, can you stop doing what you're doing? Can you look after the children? There was that understanding. He was doing everything that he was doing, but when that moment happened, because my mom stays with us, when she was in and out of hospital, and when she's admitted, it can be for months. And yeah, it can be for a very long time. And not only that, like we were living in Nandi, and she'll be admitted right in Lotoka. And it's a trip, for me, it's a drive down from Nandi to
Nandi,
Lotoka all the
Totally
time.
win.
And without his understanding to be able to look after the children and to see things through, I wouldn't be able to look after my mom well. So, and I'm always taking the time to say, thank you, because without your support, I wouldn't be able to do that. So those are the little things that we take for granted, and we fail to acknowledge our partners, because that gratitude spoken or shared with them, it gives them, that feeling, okay, I'm appreciated for the things that I do. Sometimes you feel, oh, I don't really need to say that. He's my husband. I don't really need to thank him. That's his job. His job is to look after his children. Yeah, right. That's very rightfully said. But that gratitude, it doesn't hurt to say thank you.
It builds the relationship.
And
right?
yeah, and it's like it provides a good feel. It's like it creates a totally different atmosphere when you're grateful, other than just adding each other because you're supposed to do so. Or I couldn't care less what you have done, and then you can go to your friends and say, "Man, I looked after his mom. Oh, I have looked after his mom all these years. I've looked after his parents all these years, and he didn't even bother to say thank you to me, or acknowledge the fact that I've done something right, or I have done something for his family." And sometimes we are too proud to acknowledge, we are too proud to be grateful. And, there's nothing to be too proud of, because that's your marriage and you're trying to make it work. And you'll never anticipate the years to come. Anything can happen. Even though you're projecting your thoughts thinking, okay, when we reach 70, when we reach 80, like you're thinking along that line. But anything can happen before those years come. And anything can happen to either take your husband away or take your wife away. Anything can happen, unplanned. And when that happens, can you rightfully say to yourself today that you've done all that you have done, that you've spoken the right words and all the words that you have thought of saying it? Because when they die, there's nothing else that you can do, when they pass on, to be able to show them that you love them. You may provide the most expensive coffin. You may pay for the very, exclusive place to have the funeral service or the, homecoming service. What matters? What is it to your wife or to your husband when you do that? Because they no longer feel or see what you are doing. But this is a moment when they're still alive, when you spare the time and say, okay, come, I'm going for my work. And this for you, husbands and wives, that your work involved traveling, either out of Suva or out of Nandi or out of Fiji. And when you do, and that you can take your spouse with you, take them.
Okay.
And then you're always saying, what about the children? Get somebody to look after the children. I know sometimes when I go, or sometimes when we go, when my mom's there, it's good. But when my mom wasn't there, I'll ask one of his sisters, who lives in Suva, Auntie Laveti, and she'll ask for her leave, and I'll pay her to come and stay with the children while we go. There are ways that you can think of to make your marriage work. Because when you go into your work, you're doing your work, but you're
With your family.
taking your family or taking your spouse with you. So after whatever meeting that you attend, whatever the things that you need to be part of, then you have your moments together. Then you do things together. And it's a paid trip anyway. And then you can ask, okay, you ask whoever is organizing it, like the company, can I take my spouse with me? I know I've been given a room, but can I take my wife or can I take my husband with me? And it doesn't hurt to ask. And you maximize something that has been paid for, but with the added bonus that you can have the person that you love and you appreciate with you. So they're just not there to come and be a slave and look after everything for you at your command, but they are humans and have feelings. And they are brought up from a home that they are loved, and they would love to be appreciated. So any word that comes from you, it means a lot to their lives. They may not be able to tell you, but it's within them. I'm a talker and I'm a chatter, and I'll tell you. With things, because we were brought up with a totally different outset. He comes from a village, brought up with an extended family, and with a totally different outlook in life. I was brought up in a very nuclear family, not even connected to my families. And I speak up. Like for them, they cannot speak up to anybody that is older. So our marriage was based on a totally two different lifestyles. But when we came together, we made it work. It was like we just blended. We blended. Because I was willing to give in and he was willing to give in. So we gave up some moments of our life and some teachings in our life to arrive to what works for us. Some things I have to let go and some things he need to let go. And we try and make the things that we choose that works best and made us to be still married for 39 years now. So it's not easy just achieving the 39 years. It was a journey of learning, a journey of going through experiences that makes you learn from your mistakes, trial and error. Some of you here, guided, you already know where you're going. Some of you have to go through it for you to learn and don't go that way again, change the direction for you. So we have come a long way in that kind of learning experience to make our marriage last 39 years.
It's not only a 39 years
Yeah.
of just making it. It's a 39 years we can say that we enjoy. It's not perfect, but we enjoy every turn because we learn from our mistakes.
Yeah.
And we try to improve in what it's good, and we try to cut out what to reduce what does not work.
Yeah.
So for those of you that are watching this morning, you can make it work.
Yes.
Your relationship, you can make it work. It
can.
does not depend on the people around you.
Depends on
Regardless of the environment and
Yeah.
the people and the friends and the influence from outside, the real issue is between you and your wife or
Yeah.
between you and your husband. And if it can work for us, we believe it can work for you. It's just a matter of understanding or give and take and learning and remain humble. Always remain humble and the teachable spirit that you are willing to learn as you move along. And we believe it can happen to you. Maybe your marriage, maybe your relationship is struggling at the moment. You are gluing to the television right now and you are asking a lot of questions. We can say again, it can work. And if you go to church, that is the real issue. The God that you serve, He is the creator of the universe. He can make it happen.
You can make your marriage work. It's worth working at. And I believe, if you love that person, you will make it work. And speak up. Speak up if you're going through all those things. And if they don't listen to you, find a forum that you can speak to. If you belong to a church, maybe take it up to your pastor to be prayed over. There are ways and means. But don't live through your family like dutifully and not really experiencing what your family is supposed to be. So families or marriages, they are there to be enjoyed, and it takes two to make it work. So don't keep on blaming. Take away the blaming. Blame whatever that doesn't work, you blame each other. No, look at what doesn't work, talk about it, and try and make it work. Whatever doesn't work, discuss it and look for another option. Always have an option. And love each other. Love your mom and your dad if they're still alive. Remember them. And if they're still alive and they're staying with you, make them, feel appreciated. Even though sometimes they can become a burden or can become an extra responsibility. But for how many years? How many more years you're going to put in just to make them be appreciated? May it not be long, 10 years, 20 years, not long. And because your blessings come from there as well, as you honor and as you look after your parents. So don't ever compromise loving your parents just because your husband or your wife doesn't like them. You must honor and love your parents. And for those of you, for two of you to make it work, I will end with whatever says in the Bible in Ephesians 6:1, that we must honor our parents or honor our mother and our father, because this is a commandment from God. Not only all will go well with you, but you will live longer. Meaning, the blessings of your home depends on how your husband look after his parents. The blessings of your home depends on how your wife look after her parents. Because when they come together, they come honoring their parents and they bring their blessings into their lives. Not only the blessings is on individual because of their honoring their both parents, but when they come together, they bring it corporately to make that blessing a full potential one for the family. So if you still have your in-laws alive and you may not have good relationship with them until today, find the time to make amends and go to them. even though you are right, well justified, but because they are your husband's parents or they are your
wife.
wife's parents, and they are your grandchildren's grandparents, please take the first step and say, I'm sorry, and look after them, because the years may not be that long. But at least you meet, for those of you who are Christians, that commandment, that not only all will go well with you, but you will live longer.
Yeah.
So on that note, we would like to come to an end for our family table talk today. And we look forward to having you back with us next week at 7:30 a.m. and tomorrow. If you have nothing doing, switch to my TV. Then we have church programs from as early as 5 o'clock in the morning, right throughout the day. Blessed with programs from the Methodist Church in Fiji, the Assemblies of God, and also the Triple C all the way in Nosori. And powerful Word of God shared, and also with the TBN program and other churches in New Zealand that come online. So stay tuned. If you don't have a denomination to go to, a church to go to, stay glued to the TV screen tomorrow. And also meet us at the carrier stand if you live in Suva
3
and you have
o'clock.
nothing to do. Join us at 3 o'clock and come and witness some powerful testimonials. And not only that, we have our youths dancing their heart out tomorrow. So thank you once again, and Mwade. You as a child of God, you as a youth here today, you are enough to make it happen. The strength of your saving depends upon you. Whatever that you can sacrifice per week or per month, don't rest there. Calculate it by the year and push yourself. By the end of the year, I will be able to see it.
When you come and worship God, make sure that you do your best, because our God is the respecter of no person. He promotes him and he demotes. Regardless of what you face, regardless of what's coming through, regardless of the mountain, regardless of the valley, regardless of the storm of this life, I'm ready to cross over. Are you?
Miss Sambula Vinaka, my name is Similoli.
Kia ora, my name is Ili Lalaka here at the Mount in Tauranga.
Pulare! Ada ko kani bukarang aula ni webunia. Sabu sabu.
Pula Maleka. My name is Matilawanga Bakatonga and I'm from Thailand.
Valavina, my name is Jessie Rakuvua and I'm from the Sugar City here in Lotaka.
Pula binaka. My name is Sokina from Suva.
We are going to Youth Symposium 2023. Are you?
NCF headquarters is putting together an unforgettable event to close out 2023.
And we're going to welcome 2024 with such an excitement you don't want to miss.
Karos nga bulkadyon December, kinakavani chenu. Karena songo kinatambang oneviti, kinawasa Pasifika.
And for the next few weeks, we'll be bringing you promotional coverage of this much anticipated event.
So keep an eye out for this space as we count down for the Youth Symposium 2023.
This December, Honolulu is the place to be.